Hello everybody, I'm Spook tonight. I'm a 70-30 player, so I play mostly killer, and I've been playing this game since 2016 as well. But in today's video, I wanted to go over something that I wanted to go over for quite some time now and just haven't gotten around to it yet. Matter of fact, I wanted to go over this all the way back during the Walking Dead live release, like the day 2 of the release, and I'm just now making this video, so obviously it's been quite a while, and I mean, I'm busy doing a lot of things as of recently, so I can't make videos as often as I used to, like way back. But I'm obviously trying to make as many as I possibly can still. And basically, in today's video, I'm going to be going over Pinhead and a one-trick build or one-trick idea of playing the killer, which is with Engineer Fang. Now, I have been playing Pinhead for quite some time. I basically mained him since he came out. I made a lot of killers though, so matter of fact, as you can see in this gameplay recording, it shows that I'm Prestige 17, but I'm actually Prestige 41 with him right now. Like I said, it's been a while. I've literally gone 30 something prestiges since this video even started being made, so yeah, it kind of shows. But anyways, basically I wanted to talk about Engineer Fang and why it is the superior way of playing Pinhead. Now, a lot of Pinhead mains will probably not agree with me on this, because a lot of them play base chain, which is totally fine, right? Field Agent Reaper is one of the most famous, popular Pinhead mains out there, and he plays base chain basically only. He does use Engineer Fang here and there, but he is basically, I mean, at least in my opinion, he's known as the dude who plays Pinhead without Engineer Fang. At least in my opinion, that's how I see him as. And in today's video, I'm going to be going over every single reason why you should play one-trick Engineer Fang Pinhead, because there are a ton of reasons. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into that. So for the people who don't know what Engineer Fang does on Pinhead, because, well, Pinhead is not purchasable anymore, so there's a lot of people who don't have Pinhead. So there's also then, in that case, a lot of people who don't know what Engineer Fang does. So what does Engineer Fang do? Well, it makes it so that your chain can get free injures, but it doesn't down, okay? So think more like Kaneki's grab, right? It injures, but it doesn't down, so there's that, right? Basically does the same thing as that. Now, why do I like this so much, and why is it so strong, in my opinion? Well, the truth of the matter is that when you really think about it, this add-on does a lot of stuff. It does a lot. Now, the free injures obviously seems good, as is, right? But I'm going to break down everything as to why it's really strong. So the first reason, obviously, is chase time, right? This add-on reduces chase time by a lot. So every time you get in chase with Pinhead, you are going to send your chain out, right? You see someone, you start chase, send chain, follow up, injure them. This add-on makes it so you don't have to follow up. You're still going to follow up regardless, right? Obviously, but you get the injure as soon as the chain hits, which is really, really huge. That's a lot of value. Makes it so you're not wasting so much time in chase. Additionally, it's guaranteed injure. The thing with Pinhead chains is that they're very clunky, and sometimes you won't even be able to follow up and get that injure. So this chain guarantees injure with Engie Fang, really strong, right? Additionally, it helps out chase in even more ways. Launch shots. You can now get launch shots. Now, in most cases, all that you're going to do with normal chain at a far range is try to catch up. That's it. But with Engineer Fang, you get the injure, the whole entire injure from super far away. That's really, really good. That's really strong. Additionally, this add-on also lets you deal with indoor maps, which is usually base chain Pinhead's nightmare. Indoor maps are really bad. You can break chains off really easily. It's just a horrible time. However, Engineer Fang kind of throws that out the window a little bit. Engineer Fang basically allows you to hit people through walls and through floors, right? Gideon and Midwich with Engineer Fang is really awesome and fun. You literally just hit people from all across the map and they can't do anything about it. It's really great. So yeah, that's another huge buff about it. Another huge buff with the injure part is zoning. Pinhead is not a killer who can zone. Even if you think he is, he's not. Base Pinhead is not a zoning killer. Matter of fact, survivors can literally zone you, the killer, if you're using base chain Pinhead. And I know that sounds crazy, but hear me out. If a survivor runs at edge map, what is Pinhead gonna do? Send chain, catch up, injure, and now what is the survivor gonna do? They're gonna run away from edge map all the way into mid map and leave you, the killer, at edge map. The survivor just now zoned you. The survivor literally zoned you, right? But what happens if we have Engineer Fang here? Well, the survivor runs to edge map. I get the injure with Engineer Fang. Where are they going to go? Right? It's like the same thing as Wesker throws, right? You throw a survivor at edge map. Where are they going to go? They just die, right? They have no options. They have no safety. They're not running to anywhere because you're in that way. So they just die. So this add-on literally lets you to zone. Additionally, you can also zone at further ranges as well with this add-on. Don't really see the purpose of doing it though, just get the injure. Me personally, that's what I do. But yeah. Additionally, injuries aside, this add-on also has another benefit, which is that it lets you get better playing the killer. Now, I've said this before, and a lot of people question me. They're like, what do you mean it makes you better? Well, when you think about it, this add-on, right, it incentivizes you to go for the skill shots, for the skillful plays and stuff, which base Pinhead, you don't really get incentivized to do that, right? Because even if you hit a crazy shot with base Pinhead, there's a chance you might get zero value from it. It just won't do anything, which is like terrible. Like, I just hit this crazy shot and I get no value. Okay, awesome, cool. But Engineer Fang gives you value for going for crazy shots. And because you get value for going for these crazy shots, you're gonna want to go for them more often. And because you want to go for them more often, you're just gonna end up getting better at the game. It's kind of just how that works, right? It's like when Behavior decided to buff Hillbilly and make him do curves better, and now everyone wants to do curves with Hillbilly, and now there you go. You made Hillbilly players better. Kind of the same thing with Engineer Fang. You're just making Pinhead players better because now Pinhead players can use Engineer Fang and actually get value from going for skillful shots. It makes Pinhead players all around better, right? They can now go for javelins, hook shots, whatever they want to go for, which is really good. So yeah, you get a lot of value from Engineer Fang from the injury part, and you also get a ton of value from literally making you better at playing the killer. Very, very good. Additionally, I wanted to talk about something else, which is kind of slight. It's a very, very slight buff. It's realistically not that noticeable. You may notice it, but honestly, the survivors or the people who are going to notice it more. And that is box interrupting. Now, Pinhead is able to interrupt the box by sending chains out. Everyone knows this, right? However, the difference is that sometimes Engineer Fang can give you more time on interrupting the box than base chain can. And I know that sounds crazy. But technically speaking, if a survivor is searching box, you interrupt them with the chain, and they have a teammate that takes off the chains for them, or if they take off the chains on the environment, they only realistically get interrupted for like a second or less, right? They just instantly go back to searching the box again. Now, with the injury add-on with Engineer Fang, if you use Engineer Fang and interrupt the box, they get injured, and there's a little thing with injuries that's kind of funny. If a survivor gets injured, they have that little tiny sprint burst type thing for 2 seconds. Well, they can't search the box when they have that. So when you get an injury with Engineer Fang, they can't actually search the box, which means it actually gives you more time, guaranteed time at least, guaranteed 2 seconds of them not being able to search the box. which can actually be better than base chain. Like I said, depending on if they can get the chains broken off in an environment or not, right? So that is kind of a slight buff. It's like guaranteed 2 seconds over like 2.5 seconds that you could get with base chain. So that's something to keep in mind as well, right? Now, obviously, to every single one-trick playstyle, whether that be perks one-trick or add-on one-trick, whatever it may be, when it comes to certain killers with one-tricks, there is cons. Now, what is the con to this add-on? Well, the con to this add-on is that you get one less chain. Now, the truth of the matter is that this doesn't really mean anything. One less chain doesn't amount to anything at all. It really doesn't. And the reason for that is that you can play every single loop the exact same way with one less chain as you would with 3 chain. You literally can. Literally all you have to do is sit on a pallet like Clown, and then like how Clown would, throw the purple bottle and then go around. You do the same thing with Pinhead. You sit on the pallet, send chain, go around, injure them. You play every loop like that. It's the exact same way you play base Pinhead as well. So realistically, having one less chain doesn't mean anything. You play loops the exact same way. Now, what about catching up, right? Having 3 chains to catch up is a little bit better than 2. But is it? The truth of the matter is that it's not really. You see, the 3rd chain that gets sent on a survivor is the chain that is on the survivor's back. Chain 1 is on the survivor's left shoulder, chain 2 is on the survivor's right shoulder, chain 3 is on the survivor's back, and then chain 4, with chain hunts, if that ever happens, is on their chest. It's actually kind of like their stomach, but whatever, doesn't even matter. And because chain 3 is on their back, chain 3 is technically the weakest chain, by the way. Because if a survivor breaks a chain off of a wall on the left or the right, in most cases, that back chain will also be broken off, which means they're breaking off 2 chains in a row. So that back chain realistically doesn't do anything. And because it's 2 chains, the chain's already gone anyways. So if they break off their left or right chain, it's the same thing as them breaking off the 2 chains on the base chain anyways, right? So basically having no 3rd chain doesn't really mean anything. The 3rd chain is the weakest chain on Pinhead. It gets broken off so easily on environments. A survivor runs behind the survivor who has chains. Literally you, the player, playing Pinhead can literally break the 3rd chain off by simply getting too close to the survivor. Like straight up, you can just break it off just because of that. So yeah, the 3rd chain is really weak, and not having it really doesn't mean anything, like at all. It doesn't change how you play in loops. It doesn't change long range distance catch up either, because like I said, they can just break it off really easily, so not having that there to begin with really doesn't matter. So yeah, basically Engineer Feign just gives you a ton of buffs, and it makes you better at playing the killers. So that's why I wanted to make this video. Engineer Feign on Pinhead is really, really strong, and is the best way of playing Pinhead, at least in my opinion. Once again, my opinion. There's a lot of Pinhead players who are probably going to see this and be like, no, that's actually really dumb and stupid. You're an idiot. But like, I have my own thoughts and opinions. That's what I think personally. I think Engineer Feign is the superior way of playing this killer. And yeah, that's about everything I have to say about this whole entire thing. I'm done yapping now. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And just like always, goodbye.